Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Before we get into today's magic product review, let's do a quick fiddle tune. Alright, well that's just part of it. That's called Tobin's, and I hope you enjoyed it. Alright, today I'm really excited about the review I'm doing because it's the very first release from a young female magician, and it is called Diamond Cutter. So this came out, there was a bit of controversy when it first came out about whose effect this really was, etc., etc. I'm not going to get into any of that. All I really care about for today is this a good effect and is it right for you? So stick around and we'll get right into it. Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I am glad you're here. I hope you know that I really do appreciate it. Alright, let's go ahead and talk about Diamond Cutter by Amanda Nepo. Now this is Amanda Nepo's very first release. She is a young magician. She's 17 years old, and at age 16 she was on Penn and Teller and fooled Penn and Teller. Not with this specific effect, but clearly a strong, young, up-and-coming magician that you all should keep an eye out for. I think there's a bright future for Amanda Nepo in magic. All right, so let's talk about the effect. And usually when I talk about the effect, I usually just talk to the effect. I'm going to go ahead and insert right now a demo of Diamond Cutter. All right, let's go ahead and do a quick demo of Diamond Cutter. You're going to have your spectator from your deck of cards go ahead and pick a card. And so let's say I have them pick this card here. It is the 3 of diamonds. Now the 3 of diamonds is lost back into the deck. You can all see that, I hope. And it's lost back into the deck. You do whatever sort of hocus pocus you want, and you're going to have it rise to the top of the deck. Snap your fingers and show that the card has risen to the top of the deck. Of course you realize, oh, that is not the 3 of diamonds. You can correct it. You may have made an error. You're close because the 3 of diamonds is close to the 5 of diamonds. So you go ahead and you will just rip the card, if I can rip the card, and get rid of, as a joke, 2 of the pips. So now you technically have a 3 of diamonds. Although it still says sort of, you're not really complete because you really have up here in the corner, you still have the 5. But if you give it a little bit of a rub, you will notice that now it is officially the 3 of diamonds. All right, that is Diamond Cutter. All right, so that was a demo of it. I know it's very crude, but I hope that it was helpful for you. So, you know, the effect is basically the magician in trouble plot. A card has been picked, returned to the deck, and they can't find the card, so they sort of try to improvise and they rip the card in half to show, hey, I did find the card, it's got the right number of pips on it, and ultimately is able to change the pip in the corner to match the card that they chose. And for this routine, it's a 5 of diamonds is the miscalled card, when in fact it should be the 3 of diamonds, and you're able to change that 5 in the corner to a 3. That's the routine. All right, let's talk about what are you going to get. So I'm just going to tip this because I just assume people know how this is done. So you're going to get 27 cards, and I'm pretty sure you know what the cards look like. Okay, so you got 27 mispipped cards. And along with that, you're also going to get what you need to add to your card to complete it and make it a gimmick. And you have so many of those. There's literally 100 of those that are provided for you, so that if you wanted to buy more of the type of card that you needed and you were able to get those, that you have enough to be able to perform this and hand it out literally 100 times. Of course, you've got 27 cards, so you can really only rip and hand out 27 times. You'd need to get more, but you would have these additional bit or bits and bobs to be able to do it literally 100 times. So you're going to get the cards and you're going to get a tutorial that is streaming and downloadable. It's 27 minutes in length and it is taught by the creator, Amanda Nepo. Which, by the way, if you're familiar with Diamond Cutter, when this was first released a number of weeks back, there was some controversy about who came up with this and who came up with the method. I don't care about any of that. I'm just, no need to address it. I'm going to talk about this effect and what I think about it. So let's start off with how is the tutorial. I honestly thought the tutorial was great. It is literally one of those tutorials, let me back up for a second. It is one of those tutorials that I watched it and felt like once I did the initial setup, I was ready to go. That's how easy it is based upon the tutorial. Now, I'll share a little bit more there in a second. I'll also add that once I opened up the package, I almost feel like, oh, I don't even need to watch the tutorial because it's so straightforward. If you've seen the routine and you receive your package, it's so easy from a method point of view that you could probably do it without the tutorial. Now, with that said, it's a good tutorial and you should watch the tutorial. But that's for you if you're a beginner and you're curious. It's that simple ultimately. All right, so let's talk a little bit about that. I did have some challenges with the tutorial. Once I set up the gimmick and I used the exact method that Amanda has in her tutorial for adhesion, we'll just say, I found that the adhesion method that she used I didn't like because it just didn't work for me. And I tried different levels of adhesion and I gave up pretty quickly. And that's just not a problem ultimately because it's just such a common thing that everybody has. As a magician, you're just going to have this, and it's a common household item that folks have. And I just used what I preferred and found it to be much better. But there are things that Amanda talks about as it's related to adhesion that I thought were helpful and stuff that you should listen to, especially in terms of if you're setting up your gimmick, how far in advance you want to set up your gimmick and the implications for that. But that is all included in the tutorial. I'll also add that if you think you're going to perform this right in front of somebody's face, they are going to see what the gimmick is or how it's done. So, or more likely to. I think you should have a standard distance in performing. So if you're doing close-up magic, 3 or 4 feet, and I'm going to be just fine, no problem. So just know that, to have a little bit of distance, which naturally occurs while you're performing, but you should be conscious of it. In terms of if you're doing magic that's right in front of somebody's face, it could tip the method. All right, let's talk about the gimmicks themselves. They're perfect. I have zero problems with any of the gimmicks because they're United States playing card company cards imprinted on their stock along with the extra bits and bobs, and they're fine, zero problems. You're gonna need a pair of scissors, not included, and some adhesion, not included. But gimmick is fine, or gimmicking process is fine too. Let's talk about what is the skill level. So there's nuance here. This is 100% beginner. Like I said earlier, you can watch the tutorial and within set up your gimmick, and you could probably be ready to go out and perform for your very first time. That was my initial takeaway. And then I actually performed it. Set it up and went to perform, and that's really where I realized, like, oh, the adhesion here isn't working for me, doesn't feel right, and I made the adjustment that I needed to and was able to perform. So I guess that is to say you should always practice. That's a but make sure that you practice at least once before you go out to perform it, because you will learn some of the subtle nuances of performing, and that's important. Once you've done it once, I think you're fine and you're good to go. I will add from a skill level, if you are brand new in magic, you will have to learn a sleight, you'll have to learn how to force a card. Now, Amanda Nepo is going to teach you 2 forces on this that are definitely beginner level, and easy to perform. If you have a force that you like already, you can use any force that you want, but a force is involved. I'll also add that there is a slight in terms of that you need to either palm or ditch or both, and you don't have to worry about, oh, I don't know how to palm a card. You don't have to palm a card. What you're palming and ditching is so small that it's ridiculously easy. So you should have no fear about that, but I want you to know that as a viewer. Also about the angle issues. You wouldn't want someone directly behind you performing this, but you could pretty much have them at your sides and feel confident around performing this. Let's talk about what are the pros here. Look, it's a fun magician in trouble plot to perform that's really easy to do. I think it's funny and an entertaining routine. It includes everything that you need, and I think it's really good for someone who's relatively new in magic as well. Another nice thing about this is that you can set up your gimmick card, put it in your deck, and you're ready to go. You can even perform other routines, and then when you need to force your card, you're ready to go. No problem at all. You can bring it in or already have it in your deck. So it's nice to be able to know that you don't have to worry about it. Just sits regularly in a normal deck and you're good. All right. Another thing that's really nice about this, if you like to hand out something that's a souvenir or memorabilia from your performance, this is great because you can hand out the gimmick at the end and there's nothing for them to find or see ever. And I think that's a really nice part about it. The initial setup will take you, the very first time I set mine up, probably 5 minutes or less. The second time I set it up, maybe 2 minutes. So it's pretty fast and easy from the arts and crafts point of view. All you do is need a pair of scissors and you'll do some adhesion and boom, you're ready to go. So as long as you know how to operate a pair of scissors, 2 minutes later, it's set up and ready to go. And I almost find this trick more as like, almost not like a card trick, but more of an illusion because you're essentially changing the pip on a card and it looks really good. The only con that I have, and this is nitpicky, I think for the beginner magician it would be nice to have maybe a couple more card forces taught on the tutorial. But that's me being nitpicky. It does teach two that are great for beginners and they should be able to perform right away. All right, who's gonna like this? I think anyone who's a card magician. I think if you're a strolling magician, if you like the plot of Magician in Trouble, if you like handing out a souvenir for this, I think you're really gonna like it. I think it's great for close-up magicians, strolling magicians, card magicians, and table workers or table hoppers. And you don't even need a table to be able to perform this. It's fine if you do. If you don't, it's fine because it can all be done in the hands. So I think this will appeal to a lot of people. Is it like a closer? No, it's not a closer, but you know, it could be midway or an opener for folks, I think, who like to do card magic. What does this cost? So it costs in the United States $19.95. I think that's a reasonable cost for what you're getting. I would like, I hope they sell refills, and maybe the refills would be that you just rebuy it, but you know, I wouldn't mind performing this on a regular basis and purchasing like, you know, a block of 100 cards that you need so that I can rip up, you know, have 100 performances. That would have been nice, but anyway, cost $19.95 for this. All right, that's it on this release. I hope this is helpful. If you purchased it, leave a comment down below in terms of what your thoughts are on this release, and if there was anything I missed or things you want to amplify or point out, it'd be great for the community and folks who are reading the comments. And just leave a comment just to say hi. I always love interacting with you guys. All right, that's it. Also, make sure you subscribe and like. It always helps if you hit that like button. Go hit the like button right now. All right, thanks you guys. Really appreciate it. Glad you're here. I'm FiddlinJonny, and remember to keep fiddling around with your magic. I'll see y'all next time. Bye-bye.